Philadelphia Eagles fans, the wait is almost over. Training camp is right around the corner, and the excitement in the city is palpable. Over the past few months, the buzz surrounding this team has been growing louder and louder, thanks to some standout performances that have turned heads across the entire NFL. Whether it's been the structured practices at OTAs, the intensity of minicamp, or just the individual grind sessions players have been putting in during their personal workouts, the energy coming out of Philly this offseason has been something special. And it's not just the veterans making noise. Some young playmakers and even a couple of surprise names have been putting on a show too. Right now, the team is officially on summer break after wrapping up their spring activities. Their lone mandatory mini-camp practice took place on June 10th, and before that, they had 6 on-field sessions during OTAs. Reporters were present for 3 of those practices, giving fans plenty of material to get excited about as we inch closer to camp. Over the last several weeks, tons of updates have been flooding in about who's standing out, who's improving, and who's making a case for a bigger role this coming season. And today, we're diving into all of that. Let's kick things off with the face of the franchise, quarterback Jalen Hurts. There's been a lot of chatter around how he's looked during these spring practices. After all was said and done, Hurts finished these open sessions with a completion rate that was nothing short of surgical. 50 completions on 55 attempts, 1 touchdown, and most impressively, 0 interceptions. Now sure, everyone knows that spring practices aren't played at full speed. There's no live contact, no defensive blitzes flying in his face, and the intensity is nowhere near what it will be in September. But even so, seeing Hurts dominate these controlled environments is still a huge positive. And here's the thing. His progress isn't just about the raw stats. The most encouraging development has been in how quickly he's processing the defense and making decisions. Longtime observers who've been tracking Hurts since he was drafted back in 2020 have noted a clear difference. In his rookie year, and even into his second season, he had a tendency to hold onto the ball for way too long. There were countless reps during 7-on-7 drills where he simply wouldn't let it fly, sometimes holding the ball for 4 or 5 seconds, something that's just not acceptable in that format. Fast forward to now, and that hesitation is gone. Hurts is getting the ball out quickly, hitting his checkdowns, making smart reads, and overall showing a level of control and confidence that wasn't always there in the past. Even media members who track every single throw he makes in practice have pointed out how far he's come. It's a huge testament to the work he's put in behind the scenes, refining not just his physical tools, but also the mental side of playing quarterback at the highest level. For fans, that's music to the ears. Because when your quarterback is showing that kind of growth in practice, it usually means big things are on the horizon once the real games start. But Hurts hasn't been the only one turning heads this offseason. While he's been lighting it up on the field, his top target, A.J. Brown, has been making waves off of it. Brown's personal training sessions have been the stuff of legend this summer. Whether it's intense swimming workouts in the pool, grueling gym sessions at what's been called America's most dangerous gym, or sprinting up and down the stairs at Lincoln Financial Field alongside fellow wide receiver Ainias Smith, Brown's commitment has been on another level. Watching him push himself to the limit time and time again, this offseason has fans buzzing about what's to come. The videos of him training have gone viral, and it's clear that AJ is not satisfied with past success. He wants more, and he's putting in the work to make sure he's ready to dominate again this fall. But AJ isn't the only wide receiver making noise. With both Brown and Devonta Smith taking it easy during spring practices, it's been Jahan Dotson stepping up and stealing the spotlight. After coming over from Washington last season and not seeing much action in his first year as an Eagle, Dotson seems determined to carve out a bigger role in 2025. Reports out of camp have been glowing. Dotson has consistently been Hurts' first read in drills, and according to those tracking every target and catch, he didn't drop a single pass during the 3 open sessions. That level of reliability could prove huge, especially with the way the Eagles' offense might shift this year. Given the defensive matchups they're expected to face, there's a strong chance Philadelphia will need to air it out even more than they did last season. Dotson could be a key piece in that plan, especially now that he's had a full offseason to build chemistry with Hurts and really learn the playbook. The difference between coming in just before the season starts versus having months to prepare can't be overstated, and Dotson's sharpness this spring reflects that. And speaking of surprises at the wide receiver spot, perhaps the biggest one has been Terrace Marshall. The former Panther and Raider has been getting plenty of reps with both the first and second teams, and he's made the most of every opportunity. During minicamp, he stood out with a long gain over the middle during 7-on-7 drills, and he also hauled in a touchdown pass from Hurts on a slant route where he beat linebacker Nakobe Dean. With roster spots at wide receiver limited, Marshall's spring performance might just have earned him a serious look heading into training camp. Now let's shift gears to the backfield, where all eyes have been on Saquon Barkley. After a historic 2024 season where he shattered records and racked up over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, many have been wondering how he'd bounce back. The answer? Just fine. Thank you very much. Those who've been at practice say Barkley looks like he's already in mid-season form. His routes have been crisp, his cuts are sharp, and he's moving with the same explosiveness that made him a nightmare for defenses last year. And get this, Barkley himself has said he feels like he's just now entering his prime. That's a bold statement for a guy who's already put together one of the best seasons by a running back in NFL history. But knowing his work ethic and competitive fire, it's not hard to believe he could take his game even higher. He's embracing the coaching staff's plan for him, buying into every detail, and just seems laser-focused on making 2025 another special year. Another new face drawing praise from Lane is Azeez Ojulari. Having gone up against him frequently during his time with the Giants, Lane's comments suggest Ojulari has made an impression early in his Eagles tenure as well. Known for his burst and ability to bend around the edge, Ojulari just needs to stay healthy to make an impact. And let's not forget about a potential breakout star, second-year pass rusher Jalen Hurts. Lane singled him out too, mentioning that Hunt has added weight this offseason and looks poised for a big leap. As a rookie, Hunt showed serious promise, especially during the playoffs and Super Bowl. Now, with a bigger role likely on the horizon and some added muscle to his frame, expectations are high for what he can do in 2025. In fact, Hunt's dominance in practice has already been felt. Multiple sacks during spring sessions and giving all-pro tackle Jordan Mailata serious trouble during minicamp are just a few examples of how disruptive he's been. If he continues on this trajectory, 8 to 10 sacks this season isn't out of the question. But Hunt wasn't the only one giving Mailata fits. Fourth-year defensive tackle Jordan Davis has also been a handful for offensive linemen this spring. Reports suggest he's in the best shape of his career, and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has praised Davis for his growth as a pass rusher. Down the stretch last season and into the playoffs, Davis actually led the Eagles in pressure rate, sitting at 13.8%. That's huge for a player whose primary role has traditionally been run stuffing. With more snaps likely coming his way this year, fans should expect to see Davis making an even bigger impact both against the run and getting after the quarterback. His physical tools have never been in question, but now with improved technique and conditioning, the sky's the limit. And speaking of limitless potential, Jalen Carter continues to turn heads. Despite already being one of the most dominant interior defensive linemen in football, there's a growing belief inside the organization that Carter still hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can become. Word coming out of the locker room is that Carter's still playing mostly on raw talent and instinct without fully mastering the finer points of the position. That's both terrifying and exciting at the same time. Carter played at a Pro Bowl level last year, and yet coaches believe there's still a lot more room for him to grow. With another year in the system and more time to refine his craft, it's entirely possible that Carter could take another big step forward in 2025. And while Jalen Carter continues to generate buzz for his sheer natural ability and potential to elevate even further, he is not the only defensive lineman making headlines this offseason. One of the biggest surprise stories to come out of the Eagles' minicamp was none other than cornerback Kelee Ringo. Entering a critical year in his young career, Ringo has been battling for a starting cornerback job, and by all accounts, he's been rising to the occasion in a big way. During the final minicamp practice that was open to media, Ringo made multiple standout plays that left coaches, teammates, and reporters talking. One of the most talked about moments came when he broke up what looked like a sure touchdown pass in the back corner of the end zone. The ball was thrown on target to wide receiver Terrace Marshall, who climbed the ladder to try to make the catch. But Ringo met him at the high point, timing his jump perfectly and knocking the ball away at the last possible second. It was the kind of play that showcases both his athleticism and his improved technique, two things the coaching staff has been hoping to see more of from him. But that wasn't his only highlight from that day. On another rep during 7-on-7 drills, Ringo found himself lined up one-on-one against none other than A.J. Brown. Hurts looked in Brown's direction, clearly considering taking a shot to his number one receiver. But when he saw how tightly Ringo was covering him, he made the smart decision to look elsewhere and didn't even attempt the throw. That type of sticky coverage against one of the league's best wideouts speaks volumes about Ringo's growth and confidence. What's even more encouraging is that Ringo himself has talked openly about the work he's put in this offseason. He's been focusing on refining the finer details of his game. Things like footwork, hand placement, and route recognition. Those are often the areas that separate starting caliber corners from rotational players. And it started to show in his play. If he keeps this trajectory going into training camp, there's a very real chance he'll lock down one of the starting spots in the secondary. But the story of this Eagles offseason isn't just about individual standouts. There's an undeniable energy around the entire team right now. From top to bottom, veterans and young guys alike seem locked in and ready to make a statement. There's a sense of urgency and hunger that you can feel just by listening to how the players and coaches are talking. Guys aren't just showing up, they're showing out. Take the defensive line, for example. Alongside Carter and Davis, several other players have been flashing their potential. Reports have suggested that the rotation along the defensive front is going to be deeper and more aggressive than it's been in years. With pass rushers like Josh Uche, Azeez Ojulari, and Jalen Hunt all making noise this spring, plus established veterans and breakout candidates, this unit could be one of the most dangerous in the league. The idea of having multiple waves of pass rushers who can rotate in without a significant drop-off is something that defensive coordinator Vic Fangio seems excited about. Fangio himself has been a topic of conversation, with many noting how different the defense already looks under his leadership compared to last season. Players are speaking highly of his communication style, the clarity in his schemes, and the way he's putting them in positions to succeed. It's no secret that the Eagles struggled at times on defense last year, especially in key moments down the stretch. But with Fangio now at the helm and guys buying it across the board, there's hope that this group can turn things around in a big way. Another storyline that can't be ignored is the overall conditioning and fitness level of the team heading into training camp. Multiple players have reported coming into the offseason program in the best shape of their careers. Jordan Davis, as mentioned earlier, is a prime example of this. But he's not alone. There's been chatter about several players showing up leaner, faster, and stronger. That includes not just defensive linemen, but skill position players and offensive linemen as well. Lane Johnson talked about how this has been one of his healthiest off-seasons in years, and others like A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley are showing the physical results of months of intense training. This collective commitment to physical preparation bodes well for a team that wants to play fast and aggressive on both sides of the ball. The foundation has been laid over the spring. The stars are showing out. The young guns are stepping up. And soon, when the pads come on and training camp kicks into high gear, we'll start to see how all these off-season storylines translate when the real hitting starts. One thing is certain. This Eagles team is not lacking in potential or confidence heading into the 2025 season. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has the NFL rumor mill buzzing, whispers are growing louder out of Philadelphia. Could veteran tight end Zach Ertz really be making a return to the Eagles? While nothing has been officially confirmed by the front office, multiple sources close to the situation suggest that the Eagles are seriously entertaining the idea of bringing back one of their most beloved offensive weapons. Ertz, now 34, last played for the Arizona Cardinals before a brief stint with the Detroit Lions practice squad in the 2024 season. After being released mid-year and expressing a desire to join a contender, speculation about a potential reunion with the Eagles has been persistent, and now it appears those murmurs may be turning into action. The three-time Pro Bowler was instrumental in the Eagles' Super Bowl 52 victory and remains a fan favorite. His chemistry with quarterback Jalen Hurts, while limited in actual game time, was evident in previous practices and preseason games. With Philadelphia looking to strengthen its depth at the tight end position following a series of minor injuries and inconsistent performances behind Dallas Goedert, Ertz's veteran presence and knowledge of the system could be a strategic asset. Insiders claim that the Eagles have already reached out to Ertz's camp, and while no official contract has been announced, some are suggesting a short-term deal is already in the works. It's the kind of low-risk, high-upside signing that could pay dividends late in the season, especially if the Birds are eyeing a deep playoff run and want to add reliable hands in high-pressure moments. Still, there are skeptics. Some question whether Ertz, who has dealt with injuries over the past few years, has enough left in the tank to contribute meaningfully. Others argue his return could disrupt the current offensive rhythm. But one thing's for sure, the idea of Zach Ertz wearing midnight green once again is stirring excitement and controversy in equal measure. Is this a sentimental reunion or a calculated postseason chess move? Only time will tell, but in Philadelphia, the buzz is impossible to ignore. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.